Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm here with Jill Zimmerman, who is a friend of mine, and she's going to share a little bit about her experience with regards to a career transition that she had made. As a reminder, I'm Kate Caravella, and I am co-founder and executive coach with Breaking Forward Coaching. And one of the specialty coaching tracks that we have and that we offer and that I oversee is is specific to people who are going through professional transitions. Initially, the track in the program was designed for people who were preparing for retirement and transitioning out of their career into retirement, but that has since really become a little bit more flexible and inclusive. So a lot of the people that we work with are professionals who have decided that they want to make a change midlife, mid-career change, or they've been out of the workforce for an extended period of time, either because they've raised children or because they had to take a medical leave. And most recently, we've started working with younger adults, people who are transitioning from college and university and academia into their professional career. So Jill was kind enough to sit with me and chat a little bit about her experience. And Jill, you were a prosecutor at the DA's office, and
Yes, I was a prosecutor for the Internal Revenue Service first.
okay,
And then I went into the DA's office for 3 years as a prosecutor. And then I went into private practice with a law firm. In addition, I also ran for township supervisor in our township, and I did that for 6 years.
and why did you choose law? So like as a younger adult, like what was appealing to you about?
Well, I started out of college as an insurance adjuster. And we spent a lot of time talking on the phone with attorneys, either on our side or on the opposite side, doing various different claim settlements. And I just had a friend at the office who was going to take the LSATs and go to law school. So I decided I would do the same thing. I just thought it would be, at the time, at 21 years old, I thought it would be, fun and cool.
And was it fun and cool or
Not so much. But it was, having the job as a prosecutor was really very stressful, but very fulfilling and very exciting.
and what did you not like about it? Like what were
Very
the
stressful, very, talking in front of juries was not really in my wheelhouse. I did it because I just signed up for it. So I did it. And, I did it for 3 years. I did probably 100 bench trials and maybe 12 jury trials. Um, Jury trials are not really as often as one might think. So
okay.
in the 3 years that I was there, I had 12 cases that wound up going to trial.
Okay. And and then at what point did you start considering maybe this is not what I want to be doing right now or
Well, I felt like I had been not unhappy, but super stressed. And my kids were coming up through middle school, and I just decided that I wanted to be with them more. I felt like I was missing out on a lot. As an attorney in the private practice, I was working as a township solicitor for multiple different townships and sewer authorities. So I was required to do a lot of nighttime meetings, and I would come downstairs at 6:30 in a pair of black pants and some kind of jacket, and my kids would instantly start crying and asking me why I had my meeting pants on.
oh no. I have
So
never seen you in black pants before.
so yeah, it was hard because they would cry and I would have to leave, and then sometimes I'd be sitting at my desk in the office during the day and I would just feel really sad and maybe have tears in my eyes, and my secretary would come in, and she was kind of like a second mom, and she'd be like, "What's the matter?" And I'd say, "I miss my kids and I feel sad and guilty because I was working all day and then I was out at night. So it was a very the type of law that I had kind of transitioned into required day and night.
Yeah, I would imagine that's A, very stressful, very time consuming. And then, and it sounds like you're saying that you were really just missing out on your children's life, being part of that as
Yeah,
they were.
I just let me turn this on. I just felt like I wasn't as present as I wanted to be, and when I would come home, I'd be furiously typing on the laptop. I have to get this court order over to um, the judge before 4 o'clock, to get it signed. And I also represented a mental health and drug and alcohol organization.
I did
Uh,
not, I did not know that about you. How did that never come up in all the conversations we've had?
I know. And I used to accompany the therapist to court
Okay.
when they would get subpoenaed to testify about their therapy that they were providing to children or parents or that type of thing. And then I would have to try to block their testimony and, have the judge sign an order directing their testimony if he so desired or she so desired.
Okay. So, I mean, that in itself would be extraordinarily stressful.
Oh, so
Yes.
stressful.
Yeah. And heartbreaking too, I would imagine.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you have a position that requires a lot of time. It's very stressful. There's some good pieces to it, as there always is.
It
And
was rewarding when I would, win a trial or something
sure.
rewarding.
And so, like, at what point did you start seriously considering, you know what, I think I really just want to.
I think when I had 25 years in, I started saying to myself, if I do 35, is that going to make a big difference in my life versus the 25 I've already done? And is the extra 10 years going to get me anything more? At that point, I had done multiple jury trials in the prosecution and defense side. I had ran in a local election. I had one of my cases go to the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. Um, I had done a trial in Harrisburg in front of the Commonwealth Court. I had done a lot of things that a lot of attorneys don't ever get to do. And I just felt like, when is enough enough? And, I felt like it was time. It was very, very difficult decision.
And how did you make it? I mean, did you tap into, like, your professional supports, leadership, management, coaches,
So
therapist, spouse?
I I did a lot of journaling about who am I if
Mhm.
I don't if I'm not the solicitor for this township, if I'm not the solicitor for this sewer authority, if I'm not this attorney for this drug and alcohol rehabilitation provider. Um, and I did a lot of journaling about that. I did talk to a therapist. My parents, not so supportive, and they're very strong in my life. So
Mhm.
that was really the main pushback was from my parents, who I'm very close to. My father is a doctor. My mother is aerospace engineer type computer programmer person.
Ah,
And she worked for Lockheed Martin. She was security clearances and very much a career woman. And a lot of their identity is tied into their careers, and therefore my identity was tied into my career.
sure, sure.
And it was very hard, but my sister was a really big support to me.
Okay.
And she told me to do what's going to make me happy, which was a novel concept.
So what do you mean make me happy? I get to do that? Okay.
So that's basically, I think that answered the question. Anything else?
And so how long ago was that?
So it was actually 8 years ago.
8 years ago. And so at this point, at this juncture, would you, hindsight being 2020, reflecting back, would you have done anything different? Are you pleased with what the decision that you made?
I might not have agonized for years over the decision.
Okay.
I think I would try to focus on Jill and what makes Jill happy, and I would have probably done it a little sooner.
Okay.
Um, that's the only regret I really have, and maybe not worrying so much about what's my identity going to be.
I think that's probably a very big challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Well, and especially when we grow up with parents who I don't, I'm not calling your parents overachievers, but people who are very successful in their careers, and that's sort of like that value, that messaging
I
that.
think. Yes, I'm sorry, Kate. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I think that I have morphed into a more present daughter to my parents who are aging and really need me right now. And I'm not running between the courthouse and their house back and forth, trying to get that court order done and then also be there when my dad falls, that type of thing. I'm able to drop everything and run. I've been more present as a mother. I drop everything and run a curling iron over to college if I need to. And I'm able to do stuff like that without making myself crazy. And then I've also been able to be more present at home.
Have you developed any? Because I hear other people say this sometimes too. They've developed different hobbies, or there's things that they've always wanted to do that they hadn't had the time to do. Or
I've been able to spend more time with friends and family, which was really important to me. I have taken up cooking as a hobby
okay,
and reading, which I don't think I read for 20 years because I was like reading all day. So why would I want to come home and read? I just want to,
pizza.
lay there like a vegetable until I have to go out again at night for my meeting. So, and being able to plan a lot of different traveling. It's given me time to do a lot of that.
It sounds like it was a really great decision for you, and agonizing in the decision making process, and knowing where you want to end up, and I think what you said earlier too about the who am I? If I take away the identity as career woman, right, and as professional, what does that even mean? And it sounds like it means you get to be true to yourself. You get to be more present. You have, this more time with your girls and your parents. And I when we met, you had already made this transition. So it's
Mhm.
interesting when I think about when I envision you, not just knowing you personally, when I envision you, as you described it, like just running here, running there. I can't imagine that the time that if I had met you during that time, maybe I wouldn't have even met you. We may not even have
Right.
talked to me.
Right. It's given me an opportunity to really explore some friendships, and I have met some really wonderful people, yourself included. And had the opportunity to explore those friendships and be present and not be thinking always somewhere else. Like where do I have to be on Monday? I have a trial on Monday. Should I be standing here socializing? You know.
And that constant, yeah, and that constant try to balance of life, like doing life. And then sometimes people, they share with me that then they don't feel like they're doing anything well. They're checking off the boxes. They're,
Right.
they're doing their thing, and it's just sort of like robotic. It sounds like it was an excellent transition for you, and I'm personally glad that you made it.
Thank you.
In closing, would you have any suggestions or thoughts or feedback for other people who may be considering a change?
I think I would say trust your heart and your mind. Um, if your brain is telling you that maybe this is not fulfilling for you anymore, or this is not the track for you anymore, maybe it was your track when you were 22, 25, and maybe when you're 45 or 40, 45, 50, maybe uh, people change over
Mhm.
time. You know, I wasn't the person I was when I was 25. And I would say just follow your heart and your head and take a chance if you think. I mean, you can always go back, but um,
Or do something different if that's what you choose, but yeah.
if you wait 10 years, you know, you can't go back on that.
Jill, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It was really, really nice to hear that part of your story as well. So, thank you.
Thanks, Kate.